Hello, this is an addendum to my homeschooling video. One thing which is massively important, which I missed out, is learning styles of individuals. The trouble is with a classroom, let's say you had 10 students. Unfortunately, you can't cater to 10 students' learning styles. So, you are, by necessity, you are not giving that child the best education, and you're trying to force them to conform to a standard educational timetable and learning style. Now, I take myself, I'm quite academically minded, and I love abstract concept and thought. However, I actually quite enjoyed school, and I think the learning style of row and rotation and memorizing stuff by repeatedly doing it actually works quite well for me. However, my brother and many other practical men absolutely hated that, and they're far more sort of creative and hands-on. And basically, the schooling system, because obviously it can't change its model. You can't say like, okay, all the I don't know, non-academically people, they're going to learn in a different class with a different learning style. That doesn't happen. They just get told to sort of try harder, work more. Oh, it works for everyone else. Look, it works for your brother. It's like everyone's an individual. Why shouldn't, by necessity, education be taught on an individualist basis? So let's just take a specific example. Let's say you were struggling with mathematics. Imagine if you had a teacher who would see that you're having problems and then be able to explain mathematics in a way that you understand, as opposed to in a classroom where if you didn't understand some math stuff, all the other kids and students would be like, oh, just a retard. Point at him, oh, he doesn't get it, too retarded. And it's a bit like, remember when you got a different teacher? So you'd have a problem the day before, let's say on a Monday, and your main teacher would explain it, you just didn't get it, and then a substitute teacher would come in on Tuesday and explain it, and it made absolute perfect sense. So the issue wasn't your cognitive ability, that you didn't have the intellectual capacity to understand. It wasn't explained to you in a way that you could understand. Now, homeschooling wouldn't necessarily solve this issue instantly. For example, if you have me as your homeschooler, or if you had a range of people, you could still well stumble on this roadblock. However, the critical difference is once you do see that you're not understanding, you're not getting, you're not solving these equations, you're not understanding trigonometry, you can then take some action. But the trouble with the schooling system is you'd have to try and get help from other students, from other teachers, and worst of all, imagine if you were cough cough a little bit like me, and you thought that you had a good understanding of the subject matter. You was like, no, I did that in class, I have an awesome understanding. But then when it's put into practice, when you go to use the information or you try to demonstrate the information, it turns out your grasp is fundamentally flawed or fundamentally incorrect. Again, homeschooling, because of the one-on-one nature, would give you a significant, well, in my mind, gives you a significantly stronger understanding of the subject matter. So hopefully you'll be able to retain more of it and then demonstrate more of it in practice. Also, to take things to extremes, as I like to, imagine, for example, you're doing some homeschooling, but your kid or your student just was not getting it, you could actually have the possibility to bring in someone completely new and keep changing it around until they get it. If, for example, even tailoring the learning style to match the student didn't help. And that's only one possible sort of solution or problem, because that's just it. The whole point of sort of homeschooling is you can build so much knowledge so much quicker because it's tailored to the person. And the whole point, one of the main things is, okay, I know at school they don't really teach you one of the most basic things all humans should do is work on your strengths, work on your weaknesses. So you could literally, you're homeschooled. You literally have sort of students, parents, sort of teachers, literally training you to sort of be the best. However, at school, they can't do this. Like for example, in my school, they had 30 kids per classroom. They can't say, they can grade you and say like, look, mate, you are shit at French and history. Work harder in those subjects. However, they don't have the time to really build you up. Because whilst economically, if you're going to specialise in, for example, one area, let's say you're an amazing mathematician, the higher you specialise, the more money you're going to earn in that field. However, you shouldn't be weak. You shouldn't be insanely weak in other fields. Like I joke, which is kind of true, that I could barely read and write. That's why I don't make too many written videos, because my written English, everyone will just laugh at me and point out all my mistakes. Not that I care about grammar Nazis, but it's not going to be visually very stimulating for the viewer. Because the thing is, we do have, I think it's called plasticity. Basically, our development. The whole point with sort of human development is the older you get, the more difficult things are. So, it would make the most amount of sense to create the most awesome foundation for a person possible at the start. So, if they do need to change or correct things, like for example, let's say they learnt some history and they completely screwed up all the dates. You could easily go back and read. Oh, look, the Roman Empire. Oh, look, I don't know, the Battle of Britain. Whatever, you can look them up. You can easily do that. And also the stress, the sort of fundamentals are just like maths and English and sort of problem solving, logic and philosophy. These things are just critical for life, and they should be instilled at an early age. Another thing with sort of homeschooling is you're not limited by the classroom. The trouble with classrooms is, let's say someone, you had a student, a kid, whatever, who's exceptional at mathematics. You could just, if they're that exceptional, you could be giving the student material which is for higher, an older age than they physically or mentally are. But if they're capable, because this is how you get all the prodigies, that they sort of demonstrate all their skills. But the trouble with the schooling system is it isn't built to accelerate this process. It's actually built to inhibit it. Like, I was born in the schooling system as I could have gone up a year or down a year. However, as I'm so super smart, I actually went up a year in schooling. And due to the cut-off date from when you go in and out of years, I was technically competing with students who were one entire year older than myself. Anyway, I think I've flushed out enough points. Thank you for listening, watching, and goodbye.